which productive reading months were overrated. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to be doing my November wrap-up, and my November was not nearly as productive as I would have liked. I was really wanting to pick up my reading pace, get a lot in, because I did a video recently about all the different things I'd still like to kind of focus on and get through. So I guess I have to hope that November is just a fluke, and December maybe is the month that I buckle down, so we'll see. I have a lot of stuff I'd love to get to, and I still get through, I feel like, a fair amount, but this is one of those months where I just, I didn't get a ton of physical reading time in, so it slowed me down in some of my physical reads, but we're going to talk about everything that I did read. So first off, the things that I was finishing up from October were Crazy Maids in a Row by British Meredith. This is the third book in Spokane Clock Tower Mysteries. I really like this one. This very well might be my new favorite, and I think it is. I did do a review for both books 2 and 3 of this as well, which I will link, but it was really nice, and was a good kind of thing to mix in and do something a little bit different. And then I also finished up No Safe Haven by James Lloyd Doolin, and this is book 2 in Melitu. I have a review for this one as well. I didn't like it as much as book 1. I still enjoyed it though, and I'm still looking forward to book 3. But I was glad that I finally was able to get to that one, because I'd meant to get to it quite a bit sooner. Now, talking about what I read, or mostly read, in November, actually, starting with The Awakening Fire. I think I might have technically started this in October, but I did almost all of the reading in it in November. And this I enjoyed. This was kind of a, like, grimdarky, but kind of YA type of thing, with a big focus on politics, and just blistering fast. Once I finally just sat down and read this and had more physical reading time, I got through so quickly. So really fast-paced, lots of politics and betrayals and that sort of thing. It was fun. I do have a review for this one as well. You can tell, that's where you know the second half of the month is where I slowed down, because most of these I read earlier and have reviews for already, but that was an enjoyable time, and one I'll be keeping an eye out to see where that series is going to be going. And then we have Outpost by W. Michael Geer, and this is one I did a first chapter for, and was just was really pulled into the world and everything going on, and that really cool cover here as well too. And I really enjoyed this one. I did do a review for this as well. It's one of those books where I love the world so much. Some of the other elements I don't think worked super well, and so it's one of those things where, like, I really enjoyed what I enjoyed. I'm definitely going to be continuing this series. Absolutely. I have the next 2 books. I think there's as many as 6 books that are out for it, too, but I'll definitely be continuing. So it's one of those things that I really enjoyed it, even though it's not gonna probably be like a new favorite series or anything. Just the world of Donovan with everything that wants to kill you. Super cool and interesting. So I enjoyed that. I did then listen to Smoke and Mirrors by Neil Gaiman. And this is a collection of shorts, which he has a lot of those. And this one was a bit more hit or miss for me than some of the others. There were some really good stories, and there were some I didn't care for. Overall, which he mentioned in the introduction, and I just love to listen to him talk. That's why his collections like this, I find I enjoy listening to him narrate, because he does his own narration. But in the introduction, he made a comment that a lot of the stories had to do with sex, and I'm just like, oh god. So I was dreading that, and there were definitely some that I felt really unnecessary, and I didn't care for it at all. But there were some really interesting ones too, like different takes on, like, Snow White and some stuff like that. I know it's one of his famous ones. And just some other interesting things. And it starts off with, like, a story about going to Hollywood as well. And that one was kind of longer and weird, but it was good. But so some good, some bad. But I like Neil Gaiman. But this one was a bit more mixed for me than some of the others, for sure. And then next up, which I did on audio as well, was Legend of Deathwalker by David Gemmell. This is continuing my Drenai listen through, and I don't have physical copies of this one or some of the other ones left because I kept just not being able to find good condition copies, and I don't really like mass market paperbacks, so I'll probably look to upgrade at some point, but I really enjoy the narration on these, and it's the narrator is just perfect for Drenai, and especially for, like, the older gruff characters, and so I enjoy Sean Barrett's narration, so I've been enjoying here too, and I so much that I really enjoyed here with this one as well. I think I did a review for this one. I'm pretty sure I did. I know I did for Just the Legend, I don't know. If not, I may. So we'll see. But really enjoyed it. Continuing to enjoy Janai, and it's this year, so I want to focus on finishing up this year as well. Then we had Flight of the Dark Star Dragon by Benedict Patrick. This was also one I did a first chapter of, and it was super short, and I was kind of intrigued, so I decided to give it a read. I have a review for this as well. This is another one that I was mixed on. A lot of the elements with like the characters and the plot didn't work super well for me, but the core concept and the world were just so interesting that it kept me going through. So what I really did enjoy, and I think is worth checking out, even though that there are some issues with it as well. So not everything's always going to work, and not everything's always going to be an instant classic, but it seems like an author that I would enjoy reading their stuff, just as kind of some fun, quick reads, even if not everything's necessarily perfect for my taste or working for me, but one I enjoyed as well here too. You can check out that review if you want to find out more. Super odd, super cool, and just a really, really interesting world and idea behind it. And then I had just started 2 new books, which we'll talk about here in a moment, but I had just started 2, but well, let's just do them now. Why not? So I had just started reading City of Marble and Blood by Howard Andrew Jones. This is book 2 in Hanuvar. Lord of the Shattered Land, the first book, I loved so much. It was it still is one of my favorite books this year. And so he was nice enough to send me book 2, and I didn't realize he was going to, but even signed, personalized it, which is so cool. I like the cover of this one too, and the clash of the colors and everything with it. I got through the first chapter in this, which was not what I was expecting. Some of the stuff that happened was really, really interesting there. Then I was also reading The Crystal Gunslinger by Oliver Laws, and I had read like the first chapter or 2 of this one. And also was interesting with the way that it started out. And then I was bullied into reading His Majesty's Dragon, the first book in Temeraire by Naomi Novik, as part of a buddy read with Andrew and Murphy, and Tori kind of too. I don't know if she's read it yet, but they bullied me into starting this, and so I decided to pick it up. I have to say, His Majesty's Dragon, I absolutely loved it. I will be doing a review for this. I haven't recorded it yet, but not at all what I was expecting. I feel like this is one of those books where I had this preconceived notion for some reason. I don't know. Because I'd heard that it was like Napoleonic War, but I was thinking it was just like, oh, we're going to be following a soldier who like finds dragon egg, and it's this little talking dragon. And no, it's almost like historical fiction, so maybe historical fantasy, except that just dragons just are a thing, and like all of the legends and all the different things about dragons, just they're true, they exist. All these countries have dragons. So fascinating, such a really cool concept, and it's executed so well. So I can't wait to tell you more about that once I get to the review of that one. Because of that, though, I made almost no progress on The Crystal Gunslinger and The City of Marble and Blood. I am now back to reading those now that we're in December. So I'm going to be getting to them, but I was planning to have made a lot more progress on them, but I wasn't planning on His Majesty's Dragon, but it worked out, though, for sure, because, man, I really enjoyed that, and so I'm excited to get back to these other 2 reads because I've really been enjoying them as well. And then finally, the last thing that I was finishing up for audio, and I technically finished it on the 1st, I think, but we're going to count it as done November, because that's just what we're doing. But The Fellowship of the Ring, and I was doing the Andy Serkis narration for this, which I figured would be a great way to do it because I love this book, and so I'm showing this for display, but I didn't really want to read this because I don't want to like mar it or anything, because I love this copy. But it has been a really long time because I last read Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit like when I was a teenager, and so it's been a long time. And so I was really excited to get back to it, and I did The Hobbit earlier this year, absolutely loved it, and so I decided to try Fellowship. And I do plan on doing a video talking about it just because it's been so long, and so it is a reread, but it's not something I've ever like done a review for, so I do plan to do a review for it as well, kind of talking about it. But it was just really nice to jump in. I'll definitely be kind of here and there, probably working on fitting in the next 2 books, of course, as well. And I'll probably stick with the audio. I think Andy Serkis does a great job. But I'm really interested to do a review, kind of collect my thoughts and talk about all the things. What if I feel like any of my opinions have changed since I read it when I was younger versus now, or anything like that as well. So we will definitely be doing that. So those are the things that I read in November. We're going to talk about some things that I have coming up too, but first, let me know in the comments. What did you read in November? What were some of your highlights that you had as well? So definitely let me know. And then we'll talk briefly about what is coming up. So I did the video already, which had the announcement in it as well, which I won't say what. If you didn't see it, go watch that if you want to know the very big announcement. But so the couple of the things I know I will for sure be getting to. I figured I'd talk about those briefly, which include Spirits Entwined by Teresa Bealey, which is it's a shorter one. This is a review copy that I really intended to get to last month and was planning on it and didn't quite make it. So I definitely want to give that one a read. And then we have Of Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill. This was we did a vote in Discord for us to all have to read a book of the Discord's choosing, and this is the one that won for me. So I'll definitely be getting to that. And then we have To Ride Hell's Chasm by Janie Wertz. And this one is another one that I'm doing with a buddy read, and I've been so excited to do this one. So I'm really excited to finally be reading To Ride Hell's Chasm, because I've wanted, ever since I finished Wars of Light and Shadow earlier this year, I've wanted to read this one, and so I'm really excited to get to this one as well. So those I definitely will be, and then I am planning to finish up Journai by the end of the year, which means I have 2 left, which is White Wolf and the Swords of Night and Day, and I'll be doing those on audio, so I'll definitely be listening to those. And then the Donovan series, I have the next 2 books physically, but the audio is also available on Script, so I might do audio for those. Just kind of seeing where I fit in, so we will see where we get with those as well. But that's kind of what I'll almost certainly be getting to in December. And hopefully there's a lot more. I hope I have like a huge update, but we'll have to wait and see. That is it for this one, though. Make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the link in the description, as always, for the Wizardly Enclave Discord if you want to chat books, whether any of these books, other books, really anything at all. It's a lot of fun, and we'd love to have you. And, of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.